Welcome back to another episode of the Basement Boyz. Yes, sir.
You were supposed to wait till I did that before you started.
But we got a twist here. We got a twist. We are honored to have Score Society on with us. Yes, sir.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you.
You're wondering, how did this happen? How did this collab happen? You know, we're on Instagram, and all LeBron truth tellers always come together. Honestly, he's probably one of the best out there on social media, so we had to bring him on.
Second best. Second best, bro. Hey, come on, bro.
I can take that. I accept that.
Hey, listen, we're all on one team today. I'll tell you that much. All the way out there from LA, Score Society. Make sure before you guys go any further, go to his socials, his YouTube, his Instagram, his TikTok, anything he has out there. Make sure that you guys hit that follow button. Some great content over there. We got a great episode coming up here. You can't have a bunch of real basketball hoops, real basketball truth tellers heads without having some great topics. We're going to talk about one of my favorite players of all time, Kobe Bryant. We're going to talk about basketball of the past versus basketball now. We're going to have some fun today. You never know what might come up in this episode here. And we're going to talk about LeBron, of course. Like, come on.
Got to.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Got to.
Let's get right into it. Boom.
Damn.
All right, boys, let's get right into it. Listen, there's a lot of discourse, a lot of talk online about one player in particular that I've seen recently, right? And it's happened since, God rest his soul, since he's passed away, and that's Kobe Bryant. I feel like when you look at how people used to talk him before he passed away versus how we talk about him now, people are either on one side of the fence versus the other. He's either the greatest player of all time, or now he's not even in your top 10 list, right?
Crazy.
So first thing I wanted to talk about with you boys is, do you guys believe that Kobe Bryant should be in the GOAT debate? Plain and simple.
I'll start this and then I can hand it off to you, Sean. I don't think a lot of people realize this. So for me, there's really two guys in my GOAT argument. That if you bring up either guy, I'm willing to listen to you, and that's LeBron and Mike. That's for me, right? And I'm going to tell you the reason why. I think Kobe's a top 3 to 5 greatest player that's ever lived, to me. But I don't think people realize, there's a disconnect with how people think about Kobe and how they think about LeBron James. And let me tell you what I mean. This ain't a Mike-LeBron situation, where Mike was retired and LeBron comes through. I don't think people realize, bro. By the time Kobe Bryant retired in 2016, LeBron was 13 years into his career. 13 years. It ain't like there's completely two different eras, right? And within those 13 years, God rest his soul, LeBron by that point had already outperformed him. His resume was already deeper. It was 3 Finals MVPs to 2. It was 4 regular season MVPs to 1. It was the statistics, obviously, that are through the roof. It was more All-NBA teams. It was more All-Star selections. It was already more accomplished through 13 years. And then you got to tack onto that another 10 years of elite basketball after that. So to me, Kobe's all-time great. He's 3 to 5 to me, anywhere in there. But I just think there's a little bit of a gap between him and a guy like Mike or LeBron.
So you don't got him in the GOAT discussion?
I don't think he's in the GOAT debate. No, I think he comes right after those two. Ooh. You could put him wherever you want to put him after that.
Sean, is this cap, or what are you thinking over there, man?
Yeah, I can't rock with that. I think you can put Kobe in the GOAT debate. Here's my thing with Kobe, right? Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I would put Kobe ahead of Jordan. But I can't, because he copied Jordan's style, right? It's like me, right? I love Jay-Z. So if somebody copy Jay-Z, but probably sold is just as many records as Jay-Z. I could never say he's ahead of Jay-Z. Same thing I feel about Kobe. Kobe, he made more difficult shots. I think his role with Shaq was probably a harder role to have, considering who Shaq was at that time. The records he broke, his abilities as far as like being able to break players down off the dribble, I think it was better than Jordan's. But I can't put him ahead of Jordan. But you can still keep him in the debate because he was an amazing player. But he's just hard to argue for. That's another thing, too. He's just hard to argue for. Like, he's a guy who put himself in the driver's seat versus guys who were put in the driver's seat to steer the boat. Like, Kobe kind of sat back, but he looked from the bench and was like, all right, I can get in this. I can get into this. That wasn't Jordan's story. That wasn't LeBron's story. They just jumped right into it and had to be the face of the franchise. Kobe became the face of the franchise, so he had that development process that Jordan and LeBron didn't have. But you can keep him in the GOAT debate.
But Sean, you don't think that's an argument to be said that LeBron and Mike's, because I've argued this before, bro. Like LeBron and Mike took a dumpster fire of franchises, bro. Is what they inherited. Like Kobe Bryant came out to the Lakers. The team he got drafted on had 4 All-Stars, bro. They had a prime Shaquille O'Neal who they just signed, bro. Like he was allowed to grow into that and still play competitive basketball. LeBron and Mike came in at 19, 20 years old. If they weren't giving their team 30, they were going to lose by 30.
But Hattie,
that's how I look at it.
I agree.
If the question is if he's the GOAT, then the answer is no, right? I'm the biggest Kobe Bryant fan out there. I'm probably the most emotional guy out there. You know, like that's who I ever watched. That's who I base anything that I do damn near in fucking life when it comes to like Kobe Bryant, right? If the question if he's the GOAT, then the answer is no. But if the question is if he should have a say in the discussion and one of those people that we can put in that discussion, because I agree with you. The list should be very, very short, and Kobe Bryant should be one of those guys in that discussion. I'm not saying that he's better than LeBron or he's better than Kobe, but, you know, this is going to sound really crazy, and I'm going to say it out loud because I've never said it out loud. People from the 90s I'm 30 years old, right? I didn't watch Michael Jordan. I'm not going to ever act like I ever did, right? To be honest with you, I didn't need to because in my lifetime, I watched somebody named Kobe Bean Bryant, and I believe that Kobe Bryant was better than Michael Jordan, and I'll put it like this. Something that Kobe Bryant will always have against Michael Jordan is that I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because whenever anybody wants to talk about Michael Jordan, we always want to talk about perfection, right? We always want to talk about 6-0. What comes with perfection in my eyes comes questions. Like, why was everything so perfect for him in the 90s? And the answer is really easy. We realized that when we look back in the 90s, we realized the competition wasn't up to par, and it's not no knock against them. But with Kobe Bryant, I watched a guy who modeled his game after Michael Jordan and did it in a harder era. When you talk about the top 10 basketball players, top 15 best basketball players, let's not talk about careers, the best basketball players, Kobe Bryant played with almost 80% of them at the end of the day, right? So,
facts.
Listen, at the end of the day, is he the greatest of all time? No. But should he be in the discussion? Hell, if they want to put Kareem inside there sometimes or Magic, then why the fuck can't Kobe be in there?
Well, that's the thing. I don't agree either of them can be in there. Like, for me, this is how I look at it. Maybe in the fucked up way I see it or view it. It could only be 2 guys.
That's it.
It could only be, like, is this guy the GOAT or that guy the GOAT? Because if we start saying, hey, bro, we could take this GOAT to, like, 5, 6 guys, what does the GOAT stand for?
Greatest of all time.
Not the greatest of all time. It's the greatest of all time. And I believe if you have a sport where you got 4 or 5 guys, bro, then you don't really actually have a GOAT.
Al, where you at with this? Where you at with this, Al?
2 guys. LeBron, Mike. In any sport, it's 1 and 2. Unless 2 takes over 1 or 1 just stays on top.
I agree.
Kobe, okay, Kobe did whatever he had to do, but he never did as much as these guys did. And they were labeled the greatest of all time. Michael was labeled the greatest of all time for a long time until LeBron surpassed that. He can't be in that discussion at all.
Sean, anything to add to that?
No, I agree. I mean, listen, I think he still could be in a debate. Here's the reason why I say Kobe Well, another reason why I say Kobe can be in the debate. Because it's not the fact that we arguing the player's skills when it comes to Kobe. We really arguing his story. Like, his story ain't the same as LeBron's and Michael Jordan. But it's not the abilities. Like, we know what Kobe Bryant was capable of. Like, I remember sitting up and watching Sports Center, and Kobe Bryant outscored the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
Like, in 3 quarters. I remember those nights, you know what I mean? So for me, I think you could have the debate. I don't think you can win. I don't think you can win the argument with keeping Kobe in that debate. But he's worthy of it. Let's say that he's worthy of being in it.
If that's what you're saying, if you're saying like he should belong in the conversation, but he can't win it, then I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I'm with that.
Again, I don't want to dumb it down for folks or be too simple and plain or just look at numbers or anything like that. But I'll give you an example why I think there is still a gap between those 3 guys. I'm going to give you an example. So I've seen LeBron and Mike step out on a basketball court, right? And I've seen them put up 30 to 35, 38 points a night in an NBA playoff series and lose that series. I've seen them had to eat that to the chin. I've seen Kobe Bryant step out on an NBA Finals series, on an NBA Finals court, and even though he got hurt, I've seen him average 16 points a game and win the NBA Finals. That's a luxury that LeBron and Mike never had, bro. If LeBron and Mike were to come out and average 16 in the NBA Finals run, bro, their team is going to get destroyed by 40 a night. By 40 a night. And that type of shit matters because when we talk about GOAT, what do we talk about? We could talk about accomplishments. We talk about talent. We talk about their story. There's another thing, though. We talk about expectation, bro. And when you come in with more expectation, and if you meet up to that expectation, to me, you have to be higher. That's just how I look at it, bro. That's how I look at it. I could be wrong. What the fuck do I know,
though? I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that observation, bro. I'm really not. Like you said, we can keep him in there, but he ain't gonna win that debate.
Yeah. No,
if there is a guy
to
put in the debate,
Kobe.
it's Kobe Bryant.
It's Kobe Bryant.
Nobody else but Kobe Bryant.
100%.
And that's why, till this day, I'm happy as hell that he fought Shaq and that whole story happened because even if towards, let's just say Shaq and Kobe did come together, stay together towards the end, and let's just say they would have won another 1 or 2 together, right? Mm-hmm. People were always going to hold that over Kobe's head, that it was Shaq's team, it was never with Kobe, and he did what he had to do, and that's the only reason that if you are going to put a 3rd guy in there, then I agree you can't put.
Now let's
Kobe.
be real. By that point, he was already a better player than Shaq.
He was.
Let's just be real about it, bro.
Let's hop off.
Now, when it comes,
oh, go ahead.
wait,
No.
I wanted to ask you something about Kobe. Now, let me ask you this because this has been the big thing too. I got a friend who loves Kobe, and he believes that Kobe was the leader at that 3-peat.
I think there's a
Do y'all
misconception.
believe that?
What do you mean leader? When you say leader, what do you mean leader, though?
I didn't do my own research on this, but Kobe had more points in the playoffs than Shaq. But Shaq averaged more points in the actual final series than Kobe. So when they say leader, they're saying that Kobe really led the team. Shaq was just more dominant. Like nobody can stop Shaq, but Kobe was really the leader.
I'll say Kobe Bryant's performance and what he meant to those runs is underplayed a lot, and it's nasty. It's disgustingly underplayed, right? Because it was closer than people made it seem. But to go back now, Sean, and be like Kobe was the best player on that team, that's revisionist history, bro. Like everybody and the mother knew at that point, and now we step back and we know Shaq was the guy on that team. He was the best player on that team, bro.
Shaq was the guy.
It wasn't close. It wasn't really close for a long time, bro.
Shaq was the best player on that team.
Yeah.
But if you never went back and did your own research on it, people would have made it seem like Kobe Bryant was a bum on that team, though. People never talked about. But Sean, like real talk, did people not make it seem like he was just getting carried on Shaq's back the whole time?
Yeah, a lot of Kobe fans don't like the fact that people call Kobe Robin. They wanted to be Batman and Superman, not Batman and Robin.
I'll argue this. I'll argue that Kobe carried Shaq into the finals every
Well,
single
no,
year.
but we say that, guys. But like, look, we look sometimes.
But let's just be real though. Like, let's just be real.
See, that's revisionist.
So, hey, wait.
bro.
On top of that, Kobe used to bust his ass all. Kobe used to
That's
bust his ass
revisionist
all
history,
summer
bro.
to carry Shaq through 80 games because Shaq didn't want to play during the regular season, didn't care. Nobody's saying. Well, let me just make this very clear. I'm not saying that that Kobe was better than Shaq in those runs, but to make it seem like Kobe was just another guy out there, and I'm not saying that we do it, but like if you go on and see some of these narratives, it happens. But who was carrying Shaq through the regular seasons? It was Kobe.
I know, but we say that, but Shaq averaged 28 and 12 in those regular seasons. It wasn't like he was out there jogging, bro.
And that was
He
only
still
because
averaged
Kobe was
28.
on his head.
But here's what I'll say, though, right? Here's what I'll say, right? And if somebody disagrees, show me the tape, and I'll show you why you're wrong. Kobe had a little bit of Mike in him, and let me tell you where that's from, right? Sometimes his greatness, and LeBron sometimes, and Mike's, their greatness is a little bit exaggerated. And what they were actually doing sometimes is a little bit exaggerated, bro, because of nostalgia and because of the feeling that we have about these guys, right? So Shaq, we say, oh, he got outplayed by Kobe Bryant in the San Antonio Spurs, right? Against the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, motherfucker, the guy was dealing with Tim Duncan. Yeah. On the other side, that would have been like dealing with LeBron James as a wing. Yeah, Kobe Bryant wasn't going to be averaging 35, 7, and 7 on that guy, bro. It was never going to happen. When he had to play a guy like Kevin Garnett, when he had to play a guy like Tim Duncan, when he had to play those Pistons teams with how good their interior defense was, it was fucking crazy, bro. So, yeah, when we step back and say, yeah, who was a better player, to come back and say it was Kobe Bryant is revisionist history, bro.
But
And by the way, two things could be true. We could give him credit for those championships, and those championships could still weigh less than Michael and LeBron's. Both things could be true, bro.
I'm cool with that. I'm 100% cool with that. I just don't want it to get lost in translation that Kobe didn't lead some of those playoff runs, though.
He's never led a playoff run in his
He
life.
didn't, though.
Shaq
No,
has
there
never
were
led
some of those Western
But,
Conference
you know,
finals, though.
You're just because you're saying he averaged 2 more points, he was the better player. That's not how it works, bro.
I'm just saying.
That's not how it
I'm just
works.
saying. Sean, are we
But
tripping?
you know what here's what I'll say to this. Shaq couldn't have won without Kobe. I will say that. But Kobe couldn't win if Shaq averaged 16 points in some of them finals. And Kobe Bryant averaged 16 points in the Pacers finals. And then a couple of them games in the Sixers finals, he had scored 19 and 17 or something like that. I'm using my memory. But I don't think the Lakers win any series with Shaq having those numbers.
Facts. I'm with you on that.
Kobe needed Shaq more than Shaq needed Kobe.
At that point in time, yeah, but it wasn't even fair, bro. You're talking about Kobe was, bro, like, let's just make it very crystal clear.
Kobe was
like 22 in that.
He was like 15 years old, bro.
That guy was 13 years old. He was 11 years old. He was literally 6 years old, bro.
He was
a
born.
pup, bro. Like, it's not fair to say, Shaq needed Kobe Bryant. It was his Robin. You can't be a 22-year-old Kobe and think, you know what, I'm Superman. To this guy who's in the smack dab middle of his prime, the most dominant player that's ever lived, bro.
But you know what I will say though? If they would have stayed together, we would have seen it flipped.
Yes.
We would have probably seen where Shaq was averaging closer to like 20-ish and Kobe averaging closer to like 30-ish.
But I would argue that they might not win anything that way, though.
Yeah, I get it.
Bro. Like, that's the
Hey,
problem.
Sean, I want to ask you this, though, because, listen, we had a crazy summer, bro. We got into beefs with Shaq. You got to go back on the page, and whoever's watching this, you got to go back. We got into a beef with Shaq. We got into a little bit of a beef with T-Mac because there was this whole question during the summer of could you have replaced Kobe with some guys like that? And the question was about T-Mac. And T-Mac said, I would have had one with Shaq. Do you think that a guy like T-Mac would have three-peated with Shaq instead of Kobe?
Ooh. Do I think T-Mac would have three-peated with Shaq? Oh, my God. It's a tough one, right? Because here's the thing. I've seen T-Mac play with another star like Vince Carter, and they didn't go anywhere, and he couldn't develop under Vince Carter. So I think T-Mac could have a harder time developing under Shaq. I think you have to be a very unique player to develop under Shaq and what attention he has when he's on the court, or the gravity, I should say, he has on the court. So I'm not going to say they would have three-peated, but I will say T-Mac, they would have got a championship out of there. I think they would have got that Pacers out of there. You know what? When I'm thinking about the actual teams they played, the Nets, the Pacers, the Sixers. I don't think they would have did 3P. I think they would have won 1 or 2 though. I don't think Tracy McGrady walks away with no ring. Yeah. But I think only Kobe could have won with Shaq though. I don't think another player could have won with Shaq.
If I say this name, you guys are gonna be upset with me, bro. I've always said this.
Oh my God, here we go.
Sean, AI would have three-peated, bro, with Shaq.
AI, my fault.
AI would have three-peated with Shaq at that point, bro.
I'm thinking of all tall guards. I'm thinking I'm thinking of all the guards that make up like that has the same makeup as Kobe, like a Vince Carter, McGrady, a Paul Pierce, any of those guys.
Big wing.
Allen Iverson. I think he could have did it because Allen Iverson would have had like the open court. He would have scored his points in the open court, and then on the half court we'd have somebody to throw it down to.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So T-Mac, fuck no.
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
Because like those Spurs series where like it took 37-7 out of Kobe, I don't think T-Mac was
fucking begging these, bro.
And just to kind of let you a little bit know, kind of go back to we had a little bit of a beef with Shaq, and Shaq goes out there and he says, well, so why isn't Kobe in the GOAT debate? Why isn't my guy in the GOAT debate? But Shaq talks out of two places out of his mouth. On one side, he says that he could have won with T-Mac. And on the other side, he asked, why can't Kobe be in the GOAT debate? Because on one side of your mouth, you're comparing a guy like T-Mac, who's never got out of the first round in his prime, to Kobe Bryant. Yeah. It can't go both ways. You know what I'm saying? So,
I agree.
You know, that's just how it went, man.
Yeah. So Tracy McGrady and Shaq really was having a beef with y'all?
Shaq was.
Oh, we got a whole ass DM back and forth with him, man.
You gotta send me that. Okay, it's a DM. I thought he had like a post. I thought he was under your comments or something. That's funny.
Oh, we tried. We tried. But I'll send you the DMs, man. I'll send you the DMs. It went crazy.
That's hilarious.
Listen, you can't go an episode of the Basement Boyz without talking about Kobe Bryant, right? You just can't do it.
That's solid.
All right. Let's move off of Kobe Bryant. Let's talk about something else here. This is a really interesting question. I gotta give credit to Hattie here because he's the one that put this together. This is the question. What is the biggest difference between the dialogue around basketball and sports in general between now and the past?
And you asking me that?
Yeah, Sean, what you think?
So here's my thing, right? My thing is social media. Like social media kind of changed. Like the way we consume basketball now versus then is a little different. So like if back in the 80s, 90s or whatever, we only had a few channels to watch basketball, and it was the same team. So your debates or whatever you had it only went to the barbershop and it stopped there. Now you got multiple platforms and people clipping up lowlights, getting likes, people getting paid for it. So if you getting paid or you getting a lot of engagement from LeBron lowlights or comparing LeBron to Jordan, you're going to keep doing that. You're going to keep putting that out there. So now you're putting out a bunch of negative content. But back in the day, you couldn't do that. NBA signed their first $600 million deal early in the 90s. I want to say 1991. Don't quote me on that. You think David Stern was allowing media outlets to talk bad about his product, even if it was bad? You think they was going to allow him to do that? That's one of the reasons why Jordan had to retire. Jordan had to retire because he was getting too much negative backlash for the gambling and his dad dying and the whole nine, and they saying he was a part of it and he had to go to trial and all that good stuff. They was protecting the NBA brand back in the day. Now people got their own platforms. People, there's no protection of the players. People say what they want, do what they want. So I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to basketball today versus now.
I mean, shit, if you think about it, without social media back in the day,
Charger.
Without social media back in the day, you would find out this, if you didn't watch the game, you would have to wait for the newspaper to come out the next day to figure out what happened in the damn game.
Facts.
And even when you watched
you
it,
will only watch it, and you will only see the stats.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even see the game.
and if you watched it, it's like sometimes it was tape delay. You were seeing it fucking a day later, damn near sometimes, bro. It wasn't even.
I think about a guy like LeBron James, right? At 18 years old, came into the league, and they were calling him the king before he even stepped on the court, right? And that meant every single night. And you know, when LeBron first came into the league, it wasn't like social media was at its heights, but it was starting, right? And every single game of his career, every single game of Kobe Bryant's career, all of them now, right now, is under a microscope. Every shot, every defensive possession. Now, if you get crossed up and you get dropped, it's on every single TikTok short, every single Instagram short. And now that guy's not a good defender anymore. If somebody misses a game-winning three-pointer, that guy's not clutch anymore. It's the whole nine, and I just feel like back in the day, it didn't happen.
It's the power of social media.
Hey, you didn't have pages like Just Say You Hate Basketball, Sean. I saw your little back and forth with him.
Yeah, he's a funny one, isn't he?
He got character. He got character for sure. I think, look, at the end of the day, I believe expectation is the enemy of joy. And to piggyback off of yours, I think you said it perfectly, but I'm going to take it one step further. Mike got drafted, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I believe 3rd or 4th overall in the 84 draft, 85 draft. Nobody batted an eye. Nobody batted an eye. Meanwhile, we had the Cavs, Sean, be fined in the summer of 2002 for going to recruit LeBron James for the 2003 draft class as a junior in high school. And they had to get fined for that, right? Mike was allowed to grow. Mike was allowed to grow into his own. We allowed Mike to do that. We allowed him to take his bumps against Detroit, figure it out, and start winning championships. We allowed him to do that. When he lost to Boston, we say, yeah, but the motherfucker gave him 40 a night. Like, we said that because we didn't see anybody like that before, right? But LeBron James, why didn't LeBron pick up the phone? Oh, because I called and there was no ring. Remember those jokes we used to have in 2009? I don't think people realize, bro, that motherfucker was 23, 24. He was 24. He was 24 years old. By the time Mike was 24, he was in his second year in the NBA, bro. Like, because as soon as he walked in, if he wasn't the greatest of all time, it was a fucking failure. So every night and every single day, it's like, what are you doing now to be the GOAT, right? Back in the day, you argued Lakers and Celtics. That's what you argued. Today, you jump on and you find, hey, man, Jalen Johnson ain't really all that, bro. Jalen Johnson, bro, he's a 30th best player in the league. We're picking on this guy, bro. We're picking on the 30th best player that's averaging 24, 10, and 8.
There's an opinion on everything. I'll take it, but I'll take it one step further too, though.
Yeah.
My biggest issue with like just narratives and everything past versus present now is people in the past never act like anything bad happened to their favorite player. Like they never failed. Like, let's take it off of basketball for 3 seconds. People do the whole like Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady thing right now, right? And now that people try to say that Patty is the GOAT, right? He's the guy that's chasing Tom, right? We sit there and sometimes we forget, there was times that like Tom struggled once in a while. There was times that like Tom didn't make the playoffs. And then when it happens to Patty, it's like that the world ended, right? Like, he can't be in there. He can't be in the discussion. But if we go back to Michael Jordan, how long did it take Michael Jordan in his career to win a championship?
8 years.
It took him 8 years.
Right.
How long did it take LeBron James to win?
8 years.
Took LeBron 8, 9 years.
So if it was flipped, if LeBron James played in the 90s and Michael Jordan played right now, we would have said the same. We would have just switched narratives. That's all that would have happened.
Will you guys allow me to
I always say.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
Go ahead, Sean.
You guys waiting on me?
Yeah,
My fault. My fault. I know it was a delay. I didn't know if someone was in the background. Y'all was talking to someone. But I always say this. All their stories are pretty much the same. Like, they all had to wait to win the championship. It depends on how they waited. LeBron James hit the ground running. The difference between him and Jordan is it is the social media era. Like, we actually seeing all his mistakes. We can go back and rewind it. Jordan, all the games wasn't captured. I mean, some people had WGN, but I didn't know what that was until this year, right? And I'm from Philly. So we didn't get to see all Jordan's failures. But Jordan failures came early. Jordan failures came in the first round, came before not getting to the playoffs. Bron, because he's a winner, his failures came in the finals. His failures came in front of everyone. And people put a knock against him because of that. But all these stories are pretty much the same. Even with Kobe Bryant, he had the easier way to get to championships having Shaq. But once Shaq left, he had to go through his ups and downs. He had to go through his struggles. It's all the same story. It's just a matter of which story you want to identify with. And we got to identify with Bron because he came from high school. You know what I mean? He came from high school. And one thing, the difference between Bron and a lot of the guys we say are great and the GOATs, like a guy like Tim Duncan, he went to Wake Forest for 4 years. Michael Jordan went to North Carolina for 3 years. Kobe Bryant got a chance to actually sit and watch other people develop and see how the game worked first. Who taught LeBron James? Who taught what coach schooled him? What veteran player he had to look up to? You know what I'm saying? He just made his own way. Every coach that he won with, that was their first championship. Every player that he won with, they never won a championship again.
Yeah.
Outside of Caruso, Alex Caruso.
Shout out Alex Caruso. We call him Joey Caruso.
I'm still mad the Lakers let him go, man. Big piece. That's a big piece.
Honestly, bro, like I'm not gonna get too disrespectful here. Sean, you're a little bit older than us. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I be in the comments, bro. I go to war in the comments. You guys know this. I don't know. Sometimes I got time for people, bro. They never watch basketball. They never watch basketball, and they don't watch basketball today. You know these people that sit there and argue. So you want to sit down with me and have a full-on GOAT debate, and you haven't watched LeBron James since 2008, and you want to sit here with me and have a GOAT debate. Are you serious? So I've done the research, bro. I've done the homework on Mike, bro. I've watched more full games of Mike, I bet you, than some people that were around in the 90s. I promise you, bro. It's what I love to do. I have a passion for it. You don't watch basketball, bro.
Yeah.
So you say here you want to argue about something you're not even versed on.
They watch
like,
highlights
at all, bro. Like they even say stuff like when we compare the defenses and say, "Hey, man, the defense in the '90s wasn't actually good. They just hit people because they didn't know how to play defense." That's okay, by the way. That's still difficult to win a championship through. But like nowadays, people know what they're doing schematically on defense. Schematically, they know what they're doing on defense now. So they would rather just get hit instead of having 3 fades and 4 switches on one possession. Like that's what it comes down to. They never watch basketball, bro.
Sean, I want to hear
Absolutely.
I want to hear your thoughts on this because we've talked about this on the episode on the podcast before. You know how like now you look at there's like damn near almost 5 to 8 people now averaging like 30 points a game. You got guys like freaking Austin Reeves averaging almost like 27 a game, and that's one of my guys, right? Do you think that it's gotten easier now, or do you think these players have just gotten that much better since they did back in the day?
I think it's a mixture. To be honest, I think it's a mixture of both, but it's more of the players got better, right? Like, I played basketball. I coach basketball. I'm actually after this, I got to get out of here because I got to go to practice. But so when I was growing up, you had to separate. They separate the bigs and the guards, right? So the bigs didn't have a lot of skills outside of the paint. Now, we're training tall kids the same way we're training guards. And although they're scoring more, you got to remember they still got to put the ball in the hole. They still have to be able to hit contested shots. They still have to be able to fight through some level of contact. And you go look at the 90s or you look at the early 2000s, you see a lot of these guys didn't have those abilities. So I think it is mostly because the players are more skilled, but the game has changed. One thing I don't like about today's game is that there's no referees like not calling fouls. Like there was a such thing as no call. Certain stuff you don't need to call foul for everything. They call foul for everything, and it's inconsistent at times. Like sometimes it is a foul and they don't even call it. So I say the skills has improved immensely, but the game has changed where it allows more players to score more versus what you had back in the day.
Defense has got weaker.
So you believe
Defense has got so much weaker. Nobody plays defense how they used to play defense like in 05, 06, 07, 08. How many points do teams average now?
They average a lot.
How many threes do they shoot a game?
A lot. Bruce Bowen wouldn't know what to do with Trae Young.
Yeah, 40.
Bruce Bowen would not know what to do with Trae Young, bro.
I mean, you don't know that.
No, I know that.
No.
Bruce Bowen would not know what to do with Trae Young, bro. I promise you.
I love y'all content. I love what y'all doing, bro. Please keep up the good work. Keep doing your thing. Keep starting these debates. Keep getting these former NBA, current NBA players upset, bro. Keep up the good work.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, my man.
Appreciate you, Sean.
All right, Brody. I'm gonna text you.
All right, man. We'll see you next time. No lie, boys. I gotta say, it was really good to have somebody like that on. You know, we've been watching Score Society from afar, and we always said, hey, we need to get this guy on. You know, not even about just the LeBron stuff. When you think about it, just like the way he talks about hoops, I think that represents more of how basketball needs to be looked at and talked about more these days. You guys agree with that?
He understands the game.
Agreed.
He understands the game
100%.
clearly.
Score Society's a beast, bro. Make sure you go follow him. Hit a subscribe. Hit all socials.
I'm going to say it again. Make sure that you guys hit our subscribe button. Make sure that you hit his subscribe button. He's on Instagram. He's on Patreon. He's on everything. So are we. Hit the links. Hit everything. These are the type of discussions that we have every single week, and the same thing with him. So we're going to make sure that you guys subscribe. Make sure that you support the comments, the likes. Hell, even the hate. It's even as good as the love sometimes. We appreciate it all. Thank you guys so much. Episode 68 is finally in the books. We out.